A bit of a false start with that cookie there, didn't I? Hey, it's been a little while, hey kids. In case you haven't noticed, this is most definitely not vanilla. This is more Quartercraft. The guys decided to finally get my speaker here. Decided to throw up another audit server. This one's got me, Dave, Ginger, JLo, Durzo on occasion, Scully, and Shabby. And the fact that Scully's here, I think the main reason he decided to go for this was it got me off the vanilla server, which meant my horribly laggy house wasn't ruining everyone else's experience. It's been up for, I think, about 3 weeks. I'm still living in the basement at spawn because it took me forever to figure out what I wanted to do. And in that time, big cluster of machines, big mess, stuff, junk. I ran quarried a couple of times, needed a rudimentary storage system. This goes to an endothermic pump that kind of runs a bunch of stuff in the spawn building, which I'll show. I need a few things. Yes, that's 2 metal formers. And you're going to see why pretty soon. I've just had way too much fun playing with some of these mods. Like, these generate some extra utilities. I like them so much. Especially the ender generators. Because it's like, here, have a bunch of ender pearls that otherwise would get thrown out. And it makes power. Pile of tinker tools. Awesome cleaver. It does like, yeah, I filled it full of lapis and quartz. So it's like one-shots mobs. It's great. Slow as heck, but it one-shots mobs. Beyond that, this is the cluttered, chaotic mess of a base that I have right now, which we're going to start dealing with because it's time to get my butt out of spawn and get a real house. Yeah, that's an XP drum. I started doing this just because I wound up with a lot of XP and I wasn't doing anything with it. Like, you can only... I'll throw some protection on these. These I'm wearing, you'll see why. Yeah, I have a knapsack. I haven't put anything in it yet. I've just been basically storing XP for when I want to do something with it. That's a squeezer. That's seed oil. That should tell you some other things I've been up to. Over here, behind this wall... Alright, I can't get in there because I need to be a bat when I built it. Behind this wall is a whole bunch of oreberry bushes with the activators and stuff. I don't know, I gave it a try to see what it did. It's like, wow, you get a whole lot of oreberries, and you gotta cook them, and then turn them into ingots, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. I threw a bunch of them in here before to make a whole bunch of aluminum brass. But, Spawn Village is a mess. Had a bunch of footage recorded from earlier, and it wasn't terribly good. Spawn chunk is over there. Over there. Next to a village. So we ran in here, blockaded off a couple of walls, tried to save a few villagers. In and out and stuff. Threw this around so I have some room for a bit more stuff. This used to be a chicken farm. Someone couldn't be bothered to pick up the eggs one day and they just killed them all. No biggie. Just chickens. They're easy to get again. And I originally started living right here on the roof of the blacksmith. Pile of junk. Every chest I'll ever have. Yeah, we've been to the end. That should tell you. Don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. I watched Ginger use one. So you can make a bunch of unstable ingots. That's his build up there. That's pretty cool. Beyond that, I got a bunch of villagers all over the place, and I needed something to do with them. So I built I built like 6 of these golden lassos, and I just go exploring for villages and bring them back ones that are interesting. Speaking of, so this is one of the original villagers. There's not a whole lot of the original villagers left, actually. They were scattered from house to house, getting picked off one by one. This guy, fish. He's all decked out. The fish, chicken, wheat, and wool. And his last trade is 1 emerald for apple, which isn't bad. You know. So we've got a bunch of stuff to trade him, and then yeah, that looks like a lot of fish, don't it? But then with him, we got an apiarist, a tree dude and a bee dude. So it's like, come here, buy grafters. Go to this guy. Go to this guy. Get frames. Haven't had to build an apiary yet. And then down here, no, back down. No, you guys can't. I don't want you idiots up here. Seriously? It's like watching the Three Stooges. Here, let's come down here, see if idiots. Nope, not getting down there. Well, Larry, Moe, and Curly are stuck there forever now. That's funny. Some of these guys have weird trades. I don't think I would do this. That's a lot of stuff just for whorberry bushes. Yeah, it's junk. No, with these guys, I've traded a few things with him. I had 2, actually, for a while. Here, nope. I did a bunch of trading with him. You guys is dumb. Okay, you know what? This is unacceptable. How do I get down from here? Down. Off the ladder. Come on. Hey, bat form and ladders don't mix very well. Let's try this. Sometimes I gotta punch one of these guys. You idiots. Back down here. There. Your rejects can live down there. I don't need you. And, of course, it's night. And I would sleep here, but I can't because over here, this is a patch. Yes, I've named him so he won't despawn. And I traded a ton of stuff with him. He's from Quartercraft. Let me go down here, back to my hidey hole. I had a lot of fun with that guy. So let's grab some silver. I was doing a bunch of stuff killing mobs, and he was running around stealing all the drops on me. The little bastard. And then he wouldn't go away, he just kept following me around. So, they like to pick up stuff. This dude is associated with food. I'll explain the nonsense with that later. But, you can't trade with random stuff. Oh, and yeah. You also trade away things that's cool, that he's picked up. And sometimes you get nothing. See, I just gave him a bunch of those. Gave him a bunch of eggs. And you will occasionally get some pretty neat stuff. And the more expensive the stuff you trade him, the more likely you are to get stuff that's cool. Ooh, got a blaze rod. And another egg. And if I had my particles turned on, you'd see he'd have a bunch of little green pluses around him, means ready to trade. He's happy. He'll trade anything that likes with the lux element in it, which is gold, silver, diamonds, a couple other things. Yourself. And yeah, because the silver's got so little uses. Like, yeah, okay, you can make wrath lamps and tesseracts. How many wrath lamps and tesseracts do you really need? For the sheer volume of silver that's out there, it's more fun to sit there and gamble and see what this guy gives me. This floor used to be all slabs, as evidenced by the fact that he gave me back one. I had a bunch of villagers in here. Some of the guys that are stuck in the basement there were in here. There actually used to be 2 Mistcraft guys, another blacksmith, and another librarian, but they would glitch out through the floor. Like I was downstairs, and one just glitched into my room. I don't know why. So I lassoed them up here, and this little guy, you can't move him with a lasso. You gotta move him with a portal gun. and I had to go explore for my second one. The first one fell out of my inventory, so that was the end of my portal stuff. Which is kind of big, because I spent 3 days worth of exploring, and probably blowing up the map size a lot. You have to go find another one. But he's still pretty cool. Just want to sit here and roll the dice on him, man. Let's get this stuff back out of here. Get back over here. And we'll throw this stuff in the furnace. And you can go in there. This is originally, I wanted to name this the, Scully found one of these guys and killed it because he wasn't sure what it did. And Scully kind of plays the role of the old guy. Well, he jumped off of a 3-high block and the thing goes, ugh! I think he spent 2 minutes doing that. He just laughed his butt off. This is hooked up to an ender generator. It's used to be hooked up to a tesseract, and I'll show you. I had to move it. I actually have more tesseract. I think I built 4 or 5. Because they're really, the tech to get there is a pain in the butt, and you need a lot of ender pearls. But if you come over to Ginger's as yet unfinished spawn building. So this ethereal glass is what he needed the unstable ingots for, because people can pass through it and mobs can't. Which is kind of neat. Carpet needs some work. Ceiling needs some work. Got this stupid applied energistics nonsense in here that I can't stand. So I try to not use any of this stuff because I don't know what's going to happen to it when I try to put it in here. I go here, I'll just smelt some copper, and it's gone. And then I don't know what it does. He streamed most of this stuff. I actually got both of these trophies. I don't know what the slime one. That wasn't me. Dave was here, and now Dave's not here. We also got a portal to the deep dark, which is, I did a bunch of quarrying there because there's a ton of good stuff. And then, not yet. I'll show you something. Let's go back around here. And this is what I've been doing instead of building my base. I want to get some trees so I can get some interesting wood. Got a ton of interesting trees. A bunch that I've never actually had before. Like some were a pain in the butt to get. Like getting sequoia was a bit of a pain. We should have some. I'm supposed to have a bunch of myrtle ebony because I wanted the black wood for making stuff, which I will start to actually build. And rather than waste power, so this here, yep, that's a tesseract. It's a resonant energy cell. Except these things aren't that hard to make. Like once you run the hardest part is getting the shiny metal. It's just pulverizing ferrous ore, and you get a ton of it. So right now, we're not making anything of that guy. Making all the things. Making alvearies. Do a little scut work on camera here. This isn't crap out. I actually don't intend to use a lot of alvearies. I'll need a few. There's a couple things I'll need. We have Dave's got a rainmaker set up to shut the rain off. It's been working great. But it needs the charges. So I think it's him and JLo were the only ones making them. I threw a bunch in, but I haven't had a chance to make any more lately because I just haven't. I've been lazy. But this has been most of the last 2 weeks just crossbreeding trees because it's stuff I'd never got before. This has got to be, that does make a lot of sense, but it just is that way. Some of the wood's actually kind of cool. Like I've got mahogany. Mahogany makes neat stuff. Got ebony wood. Bought a ton of proven grafters. Made some magic frames because some of these guys, they produce an awful lot of this otherworldly comb, which makes magic wax, which makes stuff and junk and thing. And they work kind of like a proven frame, but they absorb vis from the air. And since I'm not getting into thermocraft, I really shouldn't be doing things that puts a lot of bad stuff in the air. You might be wondering, so you saw no actual permanent power supply in my base. By that Tesseract. And I'll show you why. Get back over here. Hopefully you'll finish this. I've made one coast sequoia just so people can see it. Tried to scatter trees all over the place. So we get into the twilight. Doink. These are extra utility solar generators, and these function, depending on the light level, it's doing that, they'll produce anywhere from 0 to 40 RF per tick, and they produce 40 at the best time of the day. The problem is that they can't charge and transmit at the same time, kind of the way other generators do, like a furnace generator or the ender generator. You put stuff in and they just make power, and if they don't have to make any, it tops out their internal buffer, and they just stop. The ender generator will fill its buffer, and then the more ender balls you put in, the longer you get it. But these guys can't do both at the same time. But what they can do, and this is actually really cool, is once you hit them with the redstone signal, they will transmit power. So you see right now we've got a redstone signal on from a hopper timer, and we're draining this cell quite effectively into that resonant energy cell. Same thing with, no, you must be full. Yep. This is a hardened energy conduit, only has a limit of 40. Let's turn this guy back on. Limit of 400 RF transfer. So with all three of these guys, that comes out to 390, which means that the most this Tesseract can take in is that. Right? And the hopper timer flips back, and they keep running. And in the twilight, these guys will always charge at max level, because the light level is constant. In the overworld, they'll charge up during the day, right? The sun comes up, they'll go from 10, 20, 30, 40 for a bunch of the day, then back down. And then if the light level gets 0 long enough, they'll actually lose charge. And I played around with a lot of junk at spawn, trying to get these things to work. And it just wouldn't, because they need a constant light level. You hook them up to a daylight sensor, but then, you're only getting half a day worth of stuff, and then they would charge for 10 minutes if everyone slept, at which point they'd be completely dead. This has been satisfying my power needs as far as most of everything I've been doing lately, which has really just been running furnaces and pulverizers and things. I might expand this, I don't know. No one's complaining yet. I think I got this down to 2 chunks because I accidentally built it across 2. These guys are... Let's do this. These are expensive by vanilla means. Modded? No, that's nothing. 9 diamonds is nothing. Like, you run a quarry and you've got lots. I also ran, because I quarried a hollow hill, at the time I had a portal gun, I saved a bunch of these. Come over here. This isn't done. This is nowhere near done. I actually had an accident with it once already. This is... I need to improve it, I know that. 2 creeper... Oh, there's a creeper spawner and 2 skelly spawners in there. And as long as you're standing here, you're within range of them. And since gunpowder is a good resource to get, what does bite is these guys have a pretty good ability to fight the power of the conveyor belt. But you just come down here. Do-do. Crunch, crunch. See, 1 hits. Just like that. I thought about setting it up to auto grind them, but I didn't want to. All the bows I'll never need. We'll need some bones and some gunpowder. The first one of this, I was hitting them and hitting them and hitting them, and all the stuff would spray over the place and wouldn't collect in the hoppers. So I built So it was them standing on a conveyor belt pushing them forward, and then more conveyor belts pushing everything into a hopper. The creepers got mad. One of them blew up. Didn't kill everyone. They got mad. They blew up. And the whole front of this just disappeared. This whole thing just... You are not a hostile mob. The whole front of this thing just exploded. Oh wait, I kept spitting stuff out. A hectic couple of minutes before I tore the roof off. Thankfully I didn't die. And for some reason, I don't know why this is. You come into the twilight and the heart canisters don't work. If I go back out, they should kick in. I don't know why they do that. There we are. Maybe they only work if you're at full saturation. Don't know. Don't care. I'm going to drop this off. Dave needed a bunch of gunpowder and bones. He needed bones to grow stuff. Throw that in there. You can have that here. Have some slime balls too while you're at it. I think that goes into his AE system. Which again, I don't understand. But, tell you what, let's sleep really fast. Tilt over that, and plop. It's also got the, as you can see, the text there. As long as the majority of people are sleeping, day comes. Which is great if you're doing certain things that's time sensitive, or you don't want your bees to sit there idle. I know I should rig this up in a slightly better way, but I probably won't, because this is not going to be here for a whole lot longer. This whole mess is going to be coming way over here. Fly over. Rubber trees are great because they grow with a very small amount of bone meal. Here. Yeah, I got a ton of waypoints on. I went searched and couldn't find any place I liked, and realized, you know what, if I'm going to quarry in the deep dark or in the twilight, it doesn't matter where I live. So we're going to live near spawn. And for the 3 or 4 long-time viewers I have, you might recognize what's going to happen here. You also recognize why it's taken me forever to start building a base. Why? See these things? Yeah. They changed the recipe for IC2 scaffolding, because now you need fences and plates, which means you have to build a metal former. Then you have to extrude stuff to, yeah. This was about 5 or 6 days worth of literally nothing but feeding iron ingots to a metal former, along with looking for clay. We haven't found the Biomes of Plenty clay biome yet, and I haven't found a lot of the biomes. I don't know why. Kill a squid so I can go, oh, yes, these do go all the way to the bottom. I did not cheat. We've got concrete. Yeah, it says stone post, but it's concrete. So stone post. Wants stone and rebar. Rebar is that. Thankfully, there's a second steel recipes, because this is a Direwolf 20 pack. That steel can be made. Making steel dust, which is just coal and iron. So instead of having to go make a blast furnace and coal coke and stuff, you just surround it like that and you're done. Which I think is a bit of a cheat. Like, steel is one of those things that should be hard to make. Like, the Railcraft version requires you to make a blast furnace, which means you have to go to the nether. You don't have to. Because as long as there's Thaumcraft, there's the little flowers that have make blaze powder. But ideally, steel is a reward for risk. And I think it's the Calvicore. There we are. Conclavia core. I don't even know what's actually in that mod. Check that out someday. That just seems like a bit of a cheat. Like, yeah, it's great. You can make a lot of steel at once. A whole stack of steel. It's not hard to get 4 stacks of coal. Especially if you have any amount of, like, you got Tinker's Construct, right? I'll throw a bunch of lapis onto a hammer and go mine. And I've got a mountain of coal. This pack just seems a little easy. Just a bit. But we're just having fun. There's no messing around, right? And the other thing I'm doing... Ooh, I'm at 25 minutes already, so I want to shut up here in a minute. The other thing I was doing was butterflies. Butterflies are pretty. I really only captured about 5 or 6, and I threw them in here so they couldn't get away, and I have a million of them. And they're still... I don't know what else they're supposed to do. Like, I went and found a tutorial on an escrotor how to do this stuff. I'm getting research notes too, but I don't know what... I've never tried them before. So I've got some... I don't know what they do. They're pretty, which in its own is a function in Minecraft. I mean, people make nice looking stuff anyway. I wouldn't mind building a great big enclosure for things like this, but I still have an actual base to build, which we're going to get to in the next episode, because I have sat here and wasted a bunch of your time talking about nothing. So, until then, I'll talk to you later.